we're having another story on the TSC. On the top of it has been teased on the top page of the Standard. TSC interdicts 160 teachers for resisting the new curriculum. Now, this is a tough move, as has been termed by the paper, and the teachers from 8 counties have been accused of disrupting recent training on the new curriculum across the country, and they have 21 days to defend themselves. I'll start with Mr. Osido. What do you feel about this one?
Stakeholder engagement, public participation, because a teacher who really understands his or her responsibilities would not want to go and disrupt a very official process that has been rather given green lighted, quote unquote, by a national government through the office of the cabinet secretary. Right. But when people move in to be able to express themselves like in a manner to disrupt this kind of official processes, it means there is a gap. There is something happening which they are either not comfortable with, or there is information that has not been given to them. But again, I think there is need to delve deeper into the issues as to why this was disrupted. But by and large, a bigger number of teachers have come out and said there is need for us to be effectively engaged in this CBC process, the competency-based curriculum training processes. The TSC has given its pronouncement. I think the CS, Professor Magoa, has been categorical. This thing will go on whether you like it or you don't. But I think that bit of whether you like it or you don't needs to be given another look, so that people own this process and we are sure of a sustainability mechanism. Yeah,
honestly, I think them being stakeholders, they might have a point with the issues that they're raising in terms of preparedness of the trainees and the trainers, but at the same time, the way with which some of them went about it might have been the problem. Aaron, what do you feel about this one as it has been covered? This is on page 4 of the Standard also.
I think 160 teachers out of the total number of teachers is not a very big number. Although I feel that the whole issue of them being interdicted is probably a bit too extreme. It will be interesting to know what level, what caliber are these teachers, because if they are the opinion leaders, then probably there's an issue with the whole implementation of the project.
The whole system.
The head teachers and the executive secretaries.
Then that speaks a lot of things, because it means that the whole implementation does not trickle down. Whatever they're trying to do, the teachers haven't bought it yet. So interdicting,
it does not solve the problem, in my opinion. What do you think?
It doesn't. I don't think it does.
Mr. Okongo, what do you feel about this one?
I agree. I think it's an extreme measure to interdict them. I think there should have been a better way to handle this. And Nat has been saying that this thing is not grounded in law, CBC, and there are issues that it has raised which are valid. And I think it is important that they be given a hearing before this kind of action takes place.
And perhaps to explain interdiction, this means you'll be sacked and you won't be able to work again in that particular profession as a teacher, which is quite extreme. And we're being told the interdicted teachers have received show cause letters on April the 25th and given 7 days to respond. And then the interdiction letters followed on May the 3rd, giving effect to 21 teachers to defend themselves or face the sack, it's pretty extreme in my opinion. But then again, I feel like also there are better ways to go about this problem. Now let's take,
It really boils down to communication.
They wouldn't be acting like this if they understood.
Because we see this when when teachers' schools are being asked to paint colors yellow, red. We see this when new books are being introduced into the education system. There has to be a way in which the ministry can be able to communicate effectively the education stakeholders and across the board, whether it's TSC, whether it's KNUT, Kenya National Union of Teachers, or Teacher Service Commission, across the board, so that when all these issues are ultimately implemented, then students and pupils also feel comfortable that the people who are taking us through our education are competent, they like what they are doing, and we are assured of a brighter future.
Now still on education, on the Standard, I know you don't have your copies, but I'm hoping you have gone through them. We're being told that there's mass failure in science subjects, spelling doom for Kenyan growth. Now, this story broke yesterday, where we were being told that students are failing in sciences such as biology and the likes, and then they were not taking courses in the tertiary level of education that are related to that. So the projection is that in the future we might have less skilled personnel in certain professions because they are failing and therefore not taking such courses. I'll start with you, Mr. Okongo. What do you feel about this sort of failure?
I think they do. I think it's just an example of the mess that our education sector is in.
It's a mess?
We have a CS who is like a bull in a china shop. He's raging all over, and
excuse me.
He needs to, like my colleague says, he needs to start talking to
to the
yes.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a serious problem in terms of even teachers are demoralized. They're not. The terms of service need to be relooked at.
Yeah.
So that at least they are also at one on the same plane with the government.
Now there's a suggestion here, Aaron, that that they should lower the entry level from C+ to C. Is that a solution, or is this a mistake?
I don't think lowering entry levels will be a solution in any way, because what it might mean is that then you have lower caliber professionals in the science bit. But of a bigger concern here is it could be that possibly what is trickling down back to the students and the individuals that are trying to pursue some of these courses is that some of these courses are not marketable. If you do BSc botany, where are you going to work?
We were having a conversation yesterday, and the suggestion was maybe we should think about exporting skills to other countries. That might be an option.
Probably exporting skills, but I think one of the things that I've seen even the CS do now is to try and audit some of the courses that are there, because I feel that the courses that are being taught in some of these universities need to be fed by the workforce demand, not the other way around. Because how it is happening now is that you go to school, then you look for work.
Yes.
If you check in countries like Germany and the rest, the reverse is often true. It's the institutions, the firms that then inform the colleges on what exactly to offer.
Right.
So we are probably going about it the wrong way.
Yeah, and perhaps the kids' attitudes towards sciences and certain subjects needs to be addressed. Mr. Osido, what do you feel about the mass failure in science subjects?
There's a problem.
Yeah.
Because if we want to guarantee a brighter future for this country, not just for the pupils, so the students alone, but really for the country, then it is important that we invest in mathematics and science subjects. And you know that most of us, all of us here were in class at some point. Maths is not just, you will not make a guess. If the formula says ax squared times ABCD, my friend, you will not make that guess. You must be able to have concentrated, done your homework well, and understood that formula so that you're able to apply it. Now that boils down to the environment that teachers also have, and we've just been talking about issues CBC and the response of education stakeholders, the primary ones, and how they respond even to issues and conflicts. It is not fair that a teacher who is expected to transfer skills and knowledge of science and mathematics will be taken through that kind of gruesome environment, and then you walk into a class and you want to pass on that knowledge effectively. So this really is, if the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology is interested in a brighter future for this country, there is need for a national dialogue of education, on education and how we are going to be able to ensure that we deal with these issues. But then further to that is a policy, in my view, that will be able to also safeguard the education ministry, because every 5 years or even less, we see new cabinet secretaries being appointed into the ministry, and each of them comes with something totally different. Tomorrow it will be someone talking about art subjects. Today it is mathematics and science subjects. Yesterday it was agriculture, and then the other day it's going to be technical skills. We really have to have a conversation around how is our education sector responding to our national interests and what we expect to see at the end of the day. Otherwise, this is going to be a conversation that we'll keep having. And you know that none of us here is a very key stakeholder in terms of a key decision maker in the education ministry. So we need to have these conversations taking place in staff rooms. They have to be taken out into the boardrooms and ultimately into the classroom, so that the future that we are looking at is a future that will be able to safeguard mathematics and sciences. Because if it is big four, really, in manufacturing, it is maths and science. If it's whatever it is, it's really maths and science.
Right. And that concludes our press review for today. There's more news on the education sector. For example, we have less % of PhD holders are qualified. That is on page 6.